Okay, so we're back for part two of Victoria Day. This will be split into two pieces, and maybe if we're lucky, three or four as the night continues. Dave, I was asking if there's any historical relevance to you wanting to feel connected to the season of spring as I try to put these words together.
That's not what you were asking me, James.
No, no, you said, well, I love spring, and I said, is there any? And you mentioned Victoria Day, and I said, any historical relevance?
oh, not really.
I was essentially teeing you up to read off of your Wikipedia doc, but let's just move on.
Right, right.
Spring, as it were, on your bucket list.
Well, you're asking me if I have anything remaining left to do in
Yeah.
spring. Well, as you know, I don't like making New Year's resolutions, James. So I
Oh yeah,
tend
I know
to
that.
move those resolutions later on in the year. So I don't start them at the same time as everybody else. So I've this weekend I started a resolution, which is to get in shape.
All right. How are you
So
going to go about doing that? And you don't have much time left in the month of spring.
the month of spring.
Excuse me, the season of spring.
uh, yeah, so I'm gonna start into the summer, and by the end of the summer, I'm gonna
Oh,
be
you mean the month of summer?
month of summer. By the end of summer, I'm gonna be ripped, James. But no, I've started. I'm starting by just slightly altering my diet, eating more chicken and
Ass.
less ass, eating
Now,
more vegetables and less ass.
what if we were to break the year up into 4 months? The traditional months are gone, and we just count them by seasons.
So it'd be the month of
It's the month of
winter.
spring right now.
It's the month of spring, and
Yeah, yeah, the month of summer is just around the corner. Before you know it, month of fall.
then I feel like we should have 12 weeks of the year.
Oh man, that makes total sense to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Simon, let's go to you. Anything left on your spring to-do list?
I guess like spring cleaning.
Hell yeah. I started a giant purge and I'm not someone that deals with nervousness and anxiety, but I once I began, I was like, "Oh, I've taken too much on at once." And I got, as I like to refer to Dave often, quite itchy.
And did you finish it?
No, I didn't. I essentially put some of the mess away because I thought I need to do this piece by piece. It doesn't need to be this one gigantic task. I can break it up into smaller tasks.
That's a good plan. Yeah, I actually currently have a huge pile of clothes on my floor to donate.
Now,
And
would you like to show any of the clothes now? Perhaps there might be some takers.
there's a lot of clothes.
Maybe pick out an item that you. This is almost like the Sima's Home Shopping Network.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Hold on. Hold on.
Now,
Let me look
Dave,
at
you might see
things.
something that you really like for your wife.
That's true.
For your new body.
That's true too. That's true. I'm gonna have to buy a whole new wardrobe after
Yeah,
my
well, this might
body
be perfect. Yeah.
transforms. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also, Dave, if you want to get
All right.
your
I'm
wife a
back.
birthday present based on my month metric, it's only 2 months away.
That's true. I gotta think.
Now, Dave, what do you think? This would show quite a bit of bust on you.
On me, yeah. I feel like I'm gonna have to work on my pectorals before wearing something like
Well,
this.
Simon, can you flip that around one more time? Now, what
Like,
about your lower back, Dave?
I'll probably have to wax my lower back.
You don't have to wax, Dave. It's okay.
That Thanks. That's actually one of the regions I'm hairiest is in the lower back.
Yeah. I also like to break up the human body, as Dave mentioned, by region.
Yeah.
There's regions, provinces, and territories.
Yeah, that's my the Central America.
Now, Dave, now look, if you wear this outfit, they say that black is a little thinning.
Black is slimming, yes. I think I would look.
everybody needs a little black dress, by the way.
That's
Now,
true.
Simon, is this a dress or a negligee?
Yeah.
It's a dress.
It's a
It's
little
okay.
see-through.
Look, everyone's laughing at me. I don't think it's in. It looks a little negligee-ish.
Yes, yes, I agree. It's see-through. We see your t-shirt through it.
Yeah, it's a little, it's like see-through over here.
Okay.
Now, what kind of occasion would you wear something like that to?
I wore it to someone's
Besides
birthday
Victoria
party.
Day.
What?
Wait.
You wore it to what?
I wore it to someone's birthday party, like a supper.
That's
Okay.
nice.
I think it could be a funeral too.
Or dancing? Was there dancing
Yeah.
involved? Oh,
That's
this is
nice.
interesting. Is it soft? Is it like velvety or?
No, it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, like very thin.
Oh, okay.
Now,
I
why?
wore
You...
this
Sorry, go
on,
ahead,
I think
Simon.
I wore this on New Year's a few years ago.
Mhm.
And you're just giving all this stuff away?
I'm donating it.
Oh.
Saima's pulling a Red Hot Chili Peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it
I'm
away
now
now.
noticing a lot of my
Also,
clothes have similar like cuts and silhouettes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now this is quite a summer number, Saima.
Yeah.
How what about this is making you feel like it's time to say goodbye?
Because it's too big for me and it needs to get
Ah.
I have had it for 2 years and I always say I'll get it altered to fit me and I never have. So I just
Yeah,
figured time
it's
to
I did the same thing. I got rid of some clothes. They've been in my closet for about 10 years. The same thing. I think there is a moment when you have to say goodbye to certain items.
you have to Adina Menzel it.
let it
Oh,
go.
let it go.
Yeah.
Just like a wrap dress.
Or if you're John Travolta mispronouncing her name at the Grammys, Adele Dazeem.
Yeah.
Does
Really?
anyone remember that clip? The way that he went about it, the wickedly talented Adele does, and then he tried to blame it on. I think he's like, "Yeah, I ran into Susan Sarandon backstage, and she was talking to me. Then I got on stage. It's like, what does running into someone have to do with you reading a name on it? He couldn't. He had the perfect chance to just go, I dropped the ball. But how do you read, what is it, Adina Menzel and get Adele Dazeem? It's basically a boggle of her name.
Well,
Is
he's.
it?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't he like a famous Scientologist?
Are you saying they don't know how to read?
Maybe he doesn't have to do anything for himself and
You know, I could
for
have been a
him.
famous Scientologist. Me and Saima one time having coffee together in a Starbucks, and a Scientologist interrupted to tell me he really liked the cut of my jib and tried to recruit me.
Forgot about that.
You're missing the famous part, though.
Yeah. He popped in and he goes, I have to say that you seem wickedly talented. And I was like, oh, thank you. And he said, what's your name? And I said, oh, my name is James McGee. And he goes, Adele Dazeem. Marilyn, anything? Let's face it, that was very funny. Marilyn, let's go to you. Anything left on your to-do list?
Mostly little things like spring cleaning, but you know, the balcony and taking like winter things, like doing the rotation mostly.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. As time begins to wind down here, I've got a couple of topics left to go. Again, because it's Victoria Day, I thought we could have a palate cleanser and talk about some of our favorite Victorias. Dave, let's go to you. And why is it Victoria's Secret?
Oh, come on, James. It's not Victoria's Secret. It's Victoria Beckham.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What about
Spice
Victoria
Girl.
Beckham?
You
Yeah.
like you like to spice up your life, James?
I as a young boy loved the Spice Girls, and I remember I went to a local flea market, one of those flea markets that has kind of the old stuff outside, and then you could go inside where it has new stuff. And I bought a Spice Girl. She was like a bootleg shirt, and I remember vividly. I was at lunch, getting my lunch, was walking with my little tray. I was wearing the shirt, and one of the hall monitors said, "Oh, the Spice Girls. There's two Victorias." And I never wore the shirt ever again because I was
Oh.
like, I didn't want to. I was like, oh, there's two Mels, Mel B and Mel C. It wasn't
Mel
Mel B and Mel C. I felt as a young boy, I felt what they call now cringe. I never wore it again.
So because somebody else got a Spice Girl wrong, you didn't wear your shirt
Well,
again?
you know, there's something that's come to my mind now, and this is certainly manifested in my current life. I don't really want attention due to my clothes, and that's why I often don't change my style. For instance, I showed up to a show once wearing a cardigan, and Saima asked me, "Oh, James, are you coming from a wedding?"
It was I've never seen you wear a cardigan before. It was
Well, this is the reality. I'm a prisoner in a jail of my own design. I stick with the same clothes, and anytime I change, I get attention, which I don't want because I stick with the same thing. So, Dave, to answer your question, yes,
Now, did you ever see Spice World?
I did. Yeah. After I was no longer a fan, my sister became a big fan. I had to go see it in theaters, and we had the VHS cassette.
Now there was
It's an
recently
awful movie.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, I like it. I love that.
Fun.
But
Yeah.
they're
Well, I guess I've been voted off the island.
There was recently a Spice Girls reunion at the Victoria Beckham.
I don't think it's that recent. They've been reunited for a number of years.
No, they all were partying at Victoria Beckham's 50-year-old birthday party.
For 50-year-old,
the one person was missing. Dave.
Who's that?
I don't remember.
I think Jerry
They're all there.
pops in and out.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, hold on, Dave. Does this mean you like to spice up your life?
No.
All right. Marilyn, let's go to you. Favorite Victoria?
Yeah, I was also gonna say Victoria Beckham. I can't really think of
You
another
can't,
one.
'cause I said
do
it.
enjoy Victoria written with a K. I don't know, but I just find that interesting.
Maybe like some type of like Russian or
Yes,
Ukrainian
Eastern-
or perhaps Moldovan.
Or what about this? Victoria Knox, the makers of the Swiss Army knife.
Oh, but it's Victorinox. It's in one word. Yes.
Okay, so Marilyn has also selected Victoria Beckham, which Dave says is not allowed. So
Oh.
is null. Saima, let's go to you. Favorite Victoria?
So I cannot pick Victoria Beckham.
According to Dave, you can't.
Okay, I don't know any. The only thing that comes to mind is a gym I used to go to, which is called Victoria Park. I assumed it's named after
Now,
someone.
Dave, is that permissible?
I love the gym, so it is permissible.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with Victoria's Secret.
Have you heard that there's a song about Victoria's Secret?
What is it?
It's like a female empowerment song.
Okay.
It's about it's this lady. She doesn't like that Victoria's Secret is owned by men, so she's coming up with like a new angle on it.
Okay, but it's a song?
It's a song, yeah.
But not her own line of, underpants and unmentionables.
No. I'll have to look up the song because I started talking about it and then I realized I don't know much about this song.
All right. Okay. So
But I will say this: Dave. You really like the Queen Victoria, and I think you should have said more about her.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Right?
Sure. I mean, Queen Victoria, she ruled over England in the Victorian period. And famously known for sort of repressed sexuality. The time period recounted in a lot of Jane Austen novels.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people don't like her because of the whole colonialism thing.
But famous British rock band, the Kinks, wrote a song about her called Victoria. All right, well, it was mentioned earlier, Victoria Day, a long weekend. I'm curious to know what might be our ideal way to spend a long weekend. Saima, I want to go with you. You're probably the most social person on this show. I feel like you often have your calendar filled with events and fun. What does an ideal long weekend look like for you?
An ideal long weekend would probably be getting out and going to like a cottage by the water with my friends. That's what I would do.
Now, are you finishing work at 5 and going? Because I do think there's something about getting out of work on a Friday and then immediately heading out somewhere. That's got a feeling.
Yeah, I would actually try to finish work early if I was going somewhere on Friday. Try to finish like at 1 so I avoid the traffic.
Yeah. Maybe you're like, I ate some pizza and I have diarrhea. I got to go. Okay. So a long weekend at a cottage. What does the long weekend include?
Well, I would like to have a cottage probably with like water access and or a pool. Maybe a spa, hot tub. A sauna, perhaps. Sometimes those are a thing.
I want to take a page out of Dave's book here. For future answers, we cannot be going to a chalet or cottage. Dave, let's go to you.
Ideal long
weekend, and why does it include you not seeing your family?
Oh, well, I mean, that wouldn't be part of my ideal long weekend. It would...
Come on, Dave, let's...
I mean, if I had to not see my family, if I had to...
No, it's not you have to. I'm just saying, if you close your eyes and you're like, I got a long weekend. I'm not saying you're abandoning your family, you don't love your family, you don't like your family.
Okay.
Let's
I'm
let's put
listening.
let's put this out there, right? You and I years ago, we went on a road trip to see a couple wrestling shows.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it would have been different if your family was there. I'm not saying it would have been worse,
Was
but
it
it would have
was it a
been.
boys' trip?
It wasn't in no, I think there's a certain point you get to an age where saying like it's enough. You're not you've aged out of that.
I mean, we were boys,
Being
James. And we
being
went on a
around
trip.
women is not a bad thing. But I think there's a different connotation of like, yes, girls' weekend versus a boys' trip. Girls' weekend doesn't often come with like, ugh, men. Boys' trip often comes with getting away from the old ball and chain nagging my ass. No, it was a friend's trip.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a friend's trip.
You look back so fondly on this trip, James. I hear you mentioning so quite.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the last time I went on a boys' trip.
Oh.
Yeah, so Dave, what just long weekend.
Yeah.
Why don't we I want to put you on the spot here. Why don't you give us the painting of what the one with your family looks like versus the one without your family? Let's start with your family because let's get the boring one out of the way.
Also, the one with James. I think there needs to be a third category.
Oh yeah, Marilyn, I love that. You have Dave, you got three, and none of them can all be the same. And you can't use chalet or cabin.
All
Let's
right.
start with family.
Family. At this age, my son, I feel like, is a little too young to travel because it would be more work to move
He's a hell of a
around.
guy, though.
He runs around. He's a great guy. Fantastic guy. The best. But too small
At
to
first, I
travel
wasn't
with.
sold. I wasn't sold. I was more into the daughter.
Yeah,
But as the past
he
month,
wanted to
especially,
go
I
with it.
was there the other day. I thought, this is not a bad guy, man.
No, he's a good guy. He likes to eat.
First, I thought he complained a bit, a little emotional. Yeah, this guy was walking around, was just stumbling all over the place eating watermelon. I thought, wow, this guy's ready for the summer.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'd probably plan a bunch of different activities. We'd probably go to the some kind of animal exhibit one day, like an eco museum or a biodome or maybe even a park safari. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And then another day we'd go to do some water activities. Maybe go to swimming. And, at nights, I'm having a beer and we're grilling. We're grilling at home.
All right. Okay. Now let's go to the one that doesn't include your family.
Doesn't include, this is just me?
Yeah, it can't include family. It can't include anything to do with animals or pools
All right.
or grilling or drinking a beer.
Now, there's two options here. One is if my family's not there, then they're somewhere else and I'm at home. Or I'm going somewhere else and they're staying home.
This is your ideal.
Okay, well, maybe I'd go on a trip. I'd go to maybe Nashville, because I've never been there before. I want to go see that.
I can't believe you're not bringing that one to the one you do with me.
Oh, there's a third one?
Yeah, it's your ideal long weekend with me.
All right, so I'll save Nashville for that.
Yes.
On this one, I still might go on a trip. Maybe I would go to, maybe I'd get a little crazy and fly somewhere like Iceland.
Okay.
And go on like a hike. What my kids couldn't do, so it'd be something that an adult would be able to do, but a kid couldn't do. I'd have, a couple of brewskis.
No, beer's off the table.
Beers
You're
off the
drinking-
table. I'd have a
you're
couple of
drinking beer while
shots
you're
of
grilling.
vodka.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of cocktails, actually.
Yeah.
Go on a bunch of like nature sort of expeditions because
No animals though. It's off the
no,
table.
these aren't animals. These are like glaciers. These are sort of volcanic
right.
entities. These are natural.
This sounds like a
steam
field
baths.
trip with like a science group.
No, this is maybe solo. I'd stay even in a hostel. Meet
Hold
some
on,
of those.
I'm getting a production note. Yep. All right, this one's boring. Get to the next one. You and me,
All right,
long weekend.
I guess we're going to
Boy,
Nashville.
Yeah.
Staying in, maybe going to see some music. And one of the
Nice.
days, we're just going to stay in the hotel and watch a movie together.
Oh no, the worst. Marilyn, let's go to you. Ideal long weekend. Everything that's been said is off the table.
Okay. Stay in the city. Go to the park. Hydrate. Drink a lot of water. Play some frisbee. chat,
Mm-hmm.
more music, and yeah, sitting on braiding each other's hair.
All right. Okay. This feels very earthy and hedonistic. It sounds like someone with a Prince Albert would show up.
And food is
Suntan
involved.
nude
Nobody
on a
mentioned.
blanket.
Oh yeah, Prince. Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. With the time that we've got left.
Probably give a weird tan if you tanned with a Prince Albert.
Oh yeah, you take that Prince Albert out, just a very small, thin strip of untanned penis skin.
Right, Marilyn?
Which is also next Monday's topic, by the way. I'm gonna put everyone on the hot seat now. There's a lot of ways to do it, but this is the challenge.
What about yours, James? You didn't talk about yours.
I found your reaction too short to Dave's weekend with you. You don't want to add on things to that?
No, once Dave said we sit in the hotel room all day and watch movies, talk about my worst nightmare.
Is that your worst nightmare?
Watching
movies,
movies with friends, not at the movie theater, sucks.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so. It's like I sit there. I either want to chat, and at a certain point, I'm like, oh, I gotta get up and go to the sink or whatever and have a glass of water.
Wait, what question? What if you like turn off the lights and you make popcorn and you set the ambiance to be?
Wow, me and Dave are having a real sexy.
Yeah, we each have a blanket that we're cuddled underneath.
Yeah. I think the way that maybe ladies watch movies together is different than the way guys watch movies together.
We can put our legs
leave all
over
the
each
lights
other.
on. Yeah. No, look, here's the deal. Dave, you've categorized, I'm teeing you up here, categorized me in a very specific way. My personality is
particular.
It's not limited to just friends or guys. If Marilyn was like, "Oh, James, you're in the area. I'm about to watch a movie." I'd be like, "Not for me." Saima, if you were like, "Oh, I'm just by the canal. I rented a DVD." I'd be like, "Not here." Dave had a long weekend coming up, and he's like, "Dave, I believe you said you wanted to have a boys' day."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, what is it?" And he's like, "Let's watch a movie." And I said, "This is the worst boys' day I've ever heard," to which I countered, "Let's go on a road trip."
I mean, as I've said before on this show, obviously road trips are better, but if you have to fit a boys' event into a 3-hour period, watching a movie is pretty fun.
No, I think there's a million things, and I'm not even joking. I could come up with 1 million things that are better. Like, barbecuing is better than watching a movie together. Going for a walk is better. Talking on a deck is better.
Maybe you just haven't been watching the right movies with people.
Here's the thing. I don't really like movies that much. Even if I'm with a romantic other, if they were like, "Oh, why don't we just stay in and watch a movie?" I'd be like, "Oh, boring."
Really?
I don't even watch movies by myself, man.
Saima, I really appreciate your reaction to this because
I'm not saying I'm normal
disgusted.
about it. I'm not saying I'm normal. It's just I don't care about watching things. I'm over it. I average maybe, if we're not counting Christmas movies, maybe 2 movies a year. I have no patience for it. Sitting down watching things, at this point, it feels foolish to me. I'd rather go for a walk. I'd rather exercise. I'd rather sit on a bench and think. I'd rather be creative. I'd rather talk to a friend. Like, "Oh, I just want to stay inside and watch season 3 and just shoot me."
That's not a movie.
Question.
I said TV show or movie.
I have a question. What if you watch a movie and it inspires you, and then it makes you think about other things you would not have thought of unless you saw the movie?
Nah, maybe a documentary.
You've never been moved by a movie?
Yeah, Turner and Hooch. The end, man, it's a heartbreaker. Come on, Marilyn, you're with me, right?
I don't think I've seen that movie. I'm really bad at watching movie too. That's why I thought you had to. Well, you go to the cinema though, but not even that much. Is that what you're saying?
If I was gonna go see a movie with a friend, I'd rather do it at the cinema, but I'd also rather just go alone. It never occurs to me to be like, I got to invite a friend. If I want to go see a movie, I go by myself.
Really? Every time I want to go see a movie, I'm like, I can't go alone. I have to ask someone.
Yeah, see, that thought doesn't occur to me. To me, be like, why would I ask someone to go to the movies? I'm gonna go. I'll go in the middle of the afternoon on a Tuesday, cheap Tuesday, sneak my own snacks in, maybe fall asleep. Mamma mia, sign me up.
But then you can't talk about it with anyone. It's
Sounds
just you and
great.
your thoughts.
Talking about movies, also one of my least favorite things. I was doing a promotional video shoot yesterday for a couple of shows, and friends of the show, Alex Brown, Jason Grimmer, Marlena Moore were talking about movies, and I said, "Okay, guys, anyways, let's get into it." And Marlena said, "Yeah, this is James' worst nightmare. Talking about the minutia of movies. I'd rather talk about a life-threatening illness."
Good to know.
What did you think about the end of Turner and Hooch, guys? Yeah, talking about movies is boring. Anyways, that's what I think about Dave's weekend with me, Marilyn. If we cut, look, I could watch a movie with Dave. We're in Nashville. He wants to spend the whole day in a hotel room watching movies. The last movie I watched with Dave was a porno movie in a hotel room.
Maybe in a way, he's maybe telling you he had a good time with you at that time, and you're not.
Well, Dave, I'll watch a porno movie with you anytime.
That's very kind of you, James. I do feel like you're slightly mischaracterizing that moment, but sure.
Well, would you like to expand on it?
Well, we were flipping through channels in the hotel room.
Hold on. You were flipping channels.
Sure. Well, we were both watching. Obviously, both our hands were on the remote. But one of the channels was a explicit scene of two nude ladies.
Yeah, and then it began an argument as to whether it was or was not hardcore porn.
To me, it seemed pretty hardcore, but I suppose in retrospect, there was no...
There's no genitals. There was no. It was. We landed on it was mid-core.
It was mid-core, but we didn't sit there and watch the whole thing.
I haven't been in a hotel in a long time, but is it a thing? Like it's always accessible? What if you have kids?
Don't you have to pay for it?
Well, yeah, Dave's kids were there.
No.
And he
no, but I'm just saying, do we block some channels sometimes or no?
I think this was like an HBO style channel or Showtime, and it was past 11 p.m. So it was just a regular channel happened to show that kind of explicit content.
And then I said, okay, let's move on. And then Dave was flipping. He's like, oh, hold on, let's go back. Let's watch a movie together. And he kept going back to the porno movie. My ideal long weekend, I really like going to Burlington. I would like to go to Burlington. I think it's the ideal place for like 2 days. Maybe like you go, you have dinner, you spend some time on Church Street, maybe do some shopping at some outlets, you go see a Vermont Lake Monsters game. Sign me up. Bottle that feeling. I'm in.
Very nice.
I have one final question before Dave interrupted, and it was great because it led to a lot of laughs. We have one addition that we can make to this. One way that you could improve Victoria Day. Dave, let's go to you. How do you improve Victoria Day? And include porn with friends.
I would say, maybe a moment of silence for Queen Victoria.
All right. Saima, let's go to you. One way that you improve Victoria Day.
Make it a 2-day holiday.
Interesting. Okay, so it's a 2-day event.
Yeah.
And days are weeks now.
Yeah, days are weeks. Yeah. So it's in the old-fashioned way, it's 12 days, but a day is a week. All right, interesting. And that's basically like you're how many weeks of a month is that, Dave?
What?
In the new version.
Well, I mean, what are we saying? We're saying that there's
a season is a month.
Yeah. We're saying that each month has something like 4 weeks, and then we're saying that each week.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Each week has roughly 5 days.
But Victoria Day is 2 weeks.
Victoria Day is 2 days, which is, in our time, 2 weeks, which is 14 of our days, James. It's not 12.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. All right. Marilyn, one way that you improve Victoria Day or La Journée des Patriotes.
Well, more info about Journée des Patriotes on the news. Like, I know it's true. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe we'll get you to change after a few more years, James. Will you? Because you're right now still saying Victoria Day.
You're right. You're right.
What would it take for you to say Journée des Patriotes? Maybe to know more about it.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what it's going to take. This moment, I'm making a pledge that in 1 year from tonight, we will not celebrate. We will not be celebrating Victoria Day. We're going to be celebrating Le Journée des Patriotes live on At Home with James. What is it going to be? Would it be May
La journée.
La Journée des Patriotes. Would it be the 19th? Since today is the 20th? Let's do a quick check here.
The Monday, the third
Yeah,
Monday.
The 19th, May 19th, 2025, La Journée des Patriotes.
I've got a great idea for what we can do.
What's that?
We all go to your
watch
place,
a movie,
and we're gonna watch The Patriot, starring Mel Gibson.
Yeah, famous
fun.
movie about La Journée des Patriotes. All right, that is enough of this episode. I think, Saima, final thoughts from your perspective. You showed us fashion, but most importantly, you showed us your soul tonight.
Oh, thanks, James. Well, I hope everyone had a nice long weekend, and I guess the rest of your 4-day week goes by nicely.
Yes. All right, Marilyn, let's go to you. Final thoughts.
I just want to come back to our first topic. I was once on Dr. Roots, the show, Game of Good Sex, the show, and I enjoyed myself, and I'm very sad that I wasn't on this edition if you got to dress up. I hope to see a picture, and we'll see.
Yeah, there is a picture. I'll send it to you, and yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll do another live version. Dave, final thoughts on this Victoria Day celebration.
The Queen is dead. Long live the Queen.
All right. Well, on that note, I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night. Goodbye. Farewell. Be well. And have a happy remainder of your Victoria Day.
Oh.